My dear daughter, today I want to share with you why I started practicing meditation. In the neighborhood where I grew up, there was a small church. There, a young, somewhat frail priest lived alone. The church was situated at the end of a long alley lined with dark basalt stone walls. On windy days, the kids in the neighborhood would play in the alley, seeking refuge from the strong winds. Every time we did, the priest would give each of us a piece of candy and gather us in the church's sanctuary to tell us various stories. As a young child, I would imagine that the sweetness of the candy melting slowly in my mouth was a glimpse of the happiness of heaven, which the priest often spoke about. Although I didn't fully understand what heaven meant, it sparked my first interest in the Creator who made the world. Despite my fond memories, I can't recall many adults from the neighborhood attending the church. My parents and the adults in our neighborhood were Buddhists who had practiced Buddhism for generations. They were always busy with daily life, occasionally visiting the nearby temple once a year for Buddha's birthday, praying for family health and small wishes to be fulfilled. When I entered my teens, I left the neighborhood to attend high school in the city. By then, the church was abandoned, with no priest ever returning. I sometimes wonder, had the priest from the neighboring temple given candy to us, the kids who played together, would we have become curious about Buddhism, liked it, and naturally become Buddhists as adults? I remember the priest often cleaning around the church or pacing back and forth in front of the yard. As a child, I would linger around the church, hoping to catch a glimpse of the priest to receive a piece of candy. He would often playfully call my name when he saw me, knowing that I came for the candy. But after giving me one, he would remind me to say a thank you prayer to the God who gave it to me. So I closed my eyes and followed the priest in prayer after finishing the candy. I always asked the same questions to the priest. How can we meet God? Where is heaven? Are there lots of candies in heaven? At that time, heaven to me was a place filled with sweet candies where I could eat as much as I wanted. The priest always told me that if I prayed earnestly, I could meet God. He also shared fun stories with me. In my young mind, I came to believe that the God whom the priest believed in, who gave out precious candies that parents never gave, must be a kind and generous God. So, following the priest's words, I began to pray every night before bed. My childhood prayer always went like this: God, please come and meet me once. When you come, please bring lots of candies. And please don't let my parents fight. Amen. But God's response was always silent. Since the candy I enjoyed was always given by the priest, it seemed God was too busy meeting those who prayed before me. I thought to myself, when I grow up, I should go find God on my own. My childhood belief was that God was a being who could give me as much candy as I wanted. I'd also believed that if I lived a good life, I wouldn't become a bad person, and I would avoid going to a terrifying place like hell. However, one summer day, while playing with friends by the beach during a severe typhoon, I was swept away by a wave, dragged into the sea, and faced death for the second time in my life. It made me wonder, why are people born? Where do we go when we die? Where is God? Are heaven and hell real? As I transitioned through adolescence, I became deeply interested in questions about life, humanity, and death. I sought answers through books and religion. However, as I became an adult, the realistic responsibilities, the expectations of my loving parents and siblings, and the pursuit of the happy life that ordinary people dream of forced me to live diligently. The curiosity and questions of childhood and adolescence were overshadowed by the hardships of real life and gradually faded away into the depths of memory. However, one day I had a dream where I faced death in a massive tsunami. I woke up feeling the fear of death vividly. It made me wonder if death was merely the end of the physical body or the complete extinction of my existence. I felt a desire to seek answers, so I began reading various books again. However, I couldn't find the answers in books or through attending church services and sermons. The frustration of not finding answers only grew. As I entered middle age, behind the satisfaction and happiness I felt when I achieved goals and obtained desired results, a sense of emptiness followed like a shadow. Everything in the world, no matter how hard we try or how happy we are, eventually disappears. Even our own existence, which won't last 100 years, will vanish. So, what is the purpose of living? That existential emptiness tormented me. That's why I started meditating. Through meditation, I found answers to all the questions I had carried throughout my life. As you walk the path called life, you'll encounter countless questions, even seemingly fleeting and light questions. For example, why were you born as a cat? Why were you born at all? By delving deep into your mind, you'll discover the essence of all existence. Thus, you'll find the answers to those questions within yourself.